Welcome everyone to another vlog. Today we're at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library and Museum in Simi Valley, California. And as you can probably tell from my face, it's hot today. Just about 100 degrees. Trying to find the shade whenever I can. But nonetheless, we'll go inside. The museum is air conditioned, so that'll be good. So come along with me. Now, I am a huge fan of presidential museums. You get to hear about the lives of the presidents, get to know their character, and their interesting artifacts inside. And that's sure what will be here today. And Reagan was actually president when I was born, so don't really remember his presidency necessarily. But the museum is actually very interesting with showcasing parts of his life and the events that were going on at the time. And I do like that it's he was a California governor, and I believe maybe not from California, but lived here for a long time, that they've made the museum look like mission style here in Simi Valley. It's a very nice setting. I do like the look of it. This hat is crooked. Let's fix that. There we go. So it should be interesting. Unfortunately, I do have to go through it very quickly because it's closing in an hour. So I'll do what I can, try to show the biggest highlights, including the full-scale actual Air Force One that Reagan used that is parked in this building behind me in this museum. So we'll try to do what we can in this limited time. So when you first enter, they have these life-size statues of Ronald and Nancy Reagan. And then some of Ronald's high school accomplishments and sports ribbons as well. And this is making me feel incredibly unaccomplished, but a lot of swimming medals apparently. And then more of the kind of early stuff that he had done, including, again, some more school speeches and poems that he had written while here in his first speech as well, are all here in this cabinet. And then it moves on to his governorship. That's what it's called, governorship, right? I think it is. Anyways, governorship of California. And it has some of the video and pictures from that era. And just moving right along to the presidency, it's the inauguration suit and the dress from Ronald and Nancy Reagan for that day. And some more items from the inauguration itself. And then a plaque that was included on Ronald Reagan's desk. They're pretty optimistic quotes, so I thought it was pretty cool that there were those. I feel like I could use that. And this was pretty interesting. They had the suit that Ronald Reagan was wearing the day the assassination attempt happened. You could see where the bullet hole was on there, so they actually have that on display from that day.
He took a bullet to the chest, and then one bounced off the door and hit the president.
So what glass is this?
That's the limo glass.
And just like many presidential libraries, there's an Oval Office replica from the Reagan administration.
And then that is an actual tanker that he used to store jelly beans.
That's cool.
The jelly beans in there are Oval Office. This is President Reagan's second term in office. And if you look at that chair behind the desk right there, that is the actual chair that President Reagan used, both as governor of California and as the president. And he
there are dinner plates from the night that Princess Diana and Prince Charles came to the White House, and there's the famous photo of Diana dancing with John Travolta, and then the signatures from Diana and Charles on the guest book. And then Reagan kept very detailed diaries, and they have an example here, just how much he wrote down on a daily basis. So there's an example of one of the volumes, and they had a Nancy Reagan section as well, and so some of her items on display, and some video and pictures in this room, including there's some of the dresses she wore. This was one that she wore visiting Queen Elizabeth. So these are the actual items again that were part of that visit, and they have it on display here. And then this is pretty cool. They have an actual Air Force One that Reagan would fly inside the museum itself that you can tour. So the entire plane, as you can see, is indoors in the museum, and there's a walkthrough on the other side of the plane that you can actually go inside and see what Air Force One was like during the Reagan administration. So this is not something in every presidential library. So this is really cool to see on display.
Oh, wow. Hey, fellas, I think I'll talk to you for a second. So who was the first president that saluted?
President Reagan.
Reagan was the
Reagan was the first president to salute getting on Air Force One. Didn't know that. Wow. The first president that flew on a plane was, as president, was Roosevelt, and he was flying to Yalta during World War II. He didn't take a boat because guess who's out there in the ocean? The German Wolfpacks. It was safer for him to fly, so he flew to Yalta. And they had actually a wheelchair in that plane. If you want to see that plane, that's at Dayton at the National. There's an Air Force Museum, wonderful Air Force Museum in Dayton, Ohio. That's fabulous. So a lot of Air Force Ones are there, Truman's are there, Eisenhower's are there, but Reagan's here. Reagan's here. So 6 presidents flew on this plane. Reagan was the middle one, and he flew the most. He flew 661,000 miles on this plane. Each year of his presidency, he flew more.
And just outside of Air Force One, they have a presidential limo on display, including one that Reagan would have been driven around in.
Long and difficult battle. In the name of Jesus Christ, we receive the body of our brother Ronald for burial. Let's pray with confidence to God, the giver of life. He will raise him to perfection in the company of the saints.
I have been truly blessed. My friend, I shall always remember the deepest admiration and affection. I will always feel honored by the journey we traveled together.
Lost a great president.
Here we are instead of Alzheimer's disease. My father and I would tell each other about each other. We give each other a hug.
We have still
As the years went by and he could no longer verbalize my name, he recognized me as the man who hugged me.
we have his example.
I don't know why Alzheimer's has allowed to steal so much of my life.
As vice president for 8 years, Ronald Reagan.
But I know that at his last moment, when he opened his eyes that had not been for many, many days, he looked at my mother. He showed us.
And here's a handwritten letter of condolence from Queen Elizabeth to Nancy Reagan. They have a lot of these gardens and nice areas near the building. And of course, a statue of Ronald Reagan. Wouldn't be complete without that. Ronald Reagan was the 40th president of the US, and he had a ranch out here in California and loved horseback riding. So this statue is called Along the Trail. Pretty interesting. including with the California style mission bell on the plaque. Saw this when I was looking around the museum. I hadn't seen it before, so thought I would come up to it. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you found it interesting, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.